Good morning. I'm Joanne Campbell. I'm the Executive Director of the Toronto Police Services Board. Welcome. In terms of the order of events for this morning, there will be brief remarks from Board Chair Alec Mukherjee, from His Worship Mayor John Tory, and from Chief Designate Mark Saunders. I would also like to acknowledge the presence today of two of our other Toronto Police Services Board members, Dr. Dunn Noria and Ms. Marie Mulliner. Following Chief Designate Saunders' remarks, we will take questions. I would ask at that time that you identify to whom you are directing your question, and that person will come to the microphone. Chair Mukherjee.
Good morning. This is a big day for the City of Toronto. From the many phone calls and emails that I received this weekend, I appreciate that you have waited a while for this morning's announcement. You had to wait because we undertook a very intense and rigorous process to select the right chief of police for our city and our police service. It was a time-consuming process. It began with an extensive community consultation. As you will recall, in the fall of 2014, the Toronto Police Services Board initiated a series of consultations to assist it in defining the criteria for Toronto's new chief of police. The board heard from a cross-section of the community, elected officials, youth, and members of the Toronto Police Service. That consultation process, combined with the board's own current priorities, as well as understanding of the challenges of the future, led to a global search for the next leader of the Toronto Police Service. Two words, leader and change, capture the essential requirements of the job. The board's objective was to identify an inspiring and credible leader who would work with and be accountable to the board to ensure that policing is anchored in community partnerships characterized by mutual trust. We sought a leader who would strive to stimulate within the service openness to new ideas and innovative thinking, and who would foster a spirit of cooperation and teamwork among all members of the service, both uniform and civilian. We sought a leader who would be open to new models of policing, as well as the introduction of new technologies to enhance efficiency. And we sought a leader who would embrace the board's oversight, share information, give and accept advice, and thus build a relationship of respect, trust, and accountability. To this end, we undertook an international search and reviewed a long list of highly qualified internal and external candidates, including several from outside Canada. The selection process itself was intensive and included a number of components. That process is now complete, and on behalf of the board, I'm very pleased to announce that Deputy Chief Mark Saunders has been named as Chief Designate. He will take office when Chief Blair completes his term. At this time, I also want to record the board's sincere appreciation of the contributions and leadership of Deputy Chiefs Peter Slowly and Mike Federico. They are police leaders who enjoy widespread respect nationally and internationally. Their work in Toronto and beyond on critical policing issues such as community-based policing and police response to mental health has been outstanding. The board thanks them for putting their candidacy forward and very much looks forward to their continuing contributions as senior members of a strong leadership team working with Chief Designate Saunders. The board is confident that in Mark Saunders, it has found the advocate of effective, equitable policing, the recognized police leader, and the creative problem solver that it was seeking. In him, Toronto will find a police chief who is a good listener, who is always willing to sit down for a collaborative search for solutions, who is transparent, who likes a good argument, but is willing to be convinced by facts and evidence, who is down to earth, and who genuinely cares. We know that Mark will face challenges and demands on many fronts. There are high expectations from the board and the community to see real change in the way we provide services and conduct business. We know, too, that there is much work to be done to ensure that the service addresses issues of public concern, carding, racial profiling, dealing with people in crisis, the cost of policing, to name a few. I am confident that the board and the new chief will tackle these issues in a manner that is transparent and that enhances public confidence in the service. We very much look forward to partnering with Mark to lead a transformative and cultural change with the support of Toronto's fine, uniformed, and civilian employees. The future of the Toronto Police Service is indeed bright. Congratulations, Chief Designate Mark Saunders.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted to add my words of congratulation to Chief Designate Mark Saunders, in addition to the words spoken so well by Chair Mukherjee. Mark has a distinguished and wide-ranging 32-year police career, ranging all the way through from homicide to national security to cybercrime and a whole lot of things in between, and that gave him the police experience that we were looking for. But beyond that, we were also looking for somebody who could help us to modernize policing, consistent with the different technological and financial era in which we live, and with the necessary commitment to reform policing itself when circumstances require. This unanimous choice of the Police Services Board came only after an exhaustive process which the Chair made reference to, and I want to give you a bit more detail as to that process. Canada's most experienced recruitment firm in this area led an international search. We posted ads, we posted things in police bulletins to make people aware of this position and of what we were looking for, which is somebody who could effectively lead this police service but also bring about the kind of change that was necessary. This, as the Chair mentioned, led to a lengthy list of candidates, including several international candidates. In the first round of interviews, we spoke with 6 of them, 6 candidates. We took it down to a shortish list of 6. 3 excellent and worthy candidates from close to home, and 3 candidates from elsewhere. We followed that with a second round of interviews with 3 candidates, followed by detailed reference checking and assessments, and finally extensive discussion between and among members of the board. As far as I know, this is the most thorough selection process ever undertaken for a chief of police, and by definition, that also means it was the most thorough not only for the candidates and what they had to go through to get to this day, but also the most thorough for the board in terms of the discipline it applied to itself in making sure that we did our job. I outline this today so that the public will know how much care we took in selecting the next chief. I strongly believe the global search both helped us to learn about changes which are happening in policing in 2015 and also to have a better basis upon which to judge all of the candidates. In the end, we all believed Mark Saunders represented the best choice among excellent choices available to us, the best choice to continue and expand our efforts in community policing, to continue the necessary embrace of diversity, including addressing some of the very special challenges it presents, and to innovate in the delivery of police services to the people of Toronto. We need to innovate, yes, because there is the question of the cost of policing, but because we knew and we learned in great detail during the course of this process that there are new and different ways to do policing in 2015, and we learned about that from all of the candidates, including Chief Designate Mark Saunders. We believe that Mark Saunders will be an experienced, trusted, sensitive, and innovative leader of our Toronto Police Service, best positioned to maintain safe communities, attentive to their unique needs and experiences. He will efficiently lead a large, complex organization and bring about reforms which will lead to greater trust and confidence among Torontonians, first and foremost as citizens and as residents, but also as taxpayers. In conclusion, may I say thank you to all of the other members of the board, including the two present and those who are unable to be with us this morning. They were ably and sensitively led throughout this extensive process by our chair, Dr. Mukherjee, and I want to say thank you to them, and also thank you to all of the candidates who allowed their names to stand. We appreciate what they contributed to this process. We are fortunate and we are proud of the fact that our new chief will have at his side two distinguished and very accomplished deputies in Peter Slowly and Mike Federico, who will work well with our new chief, who will keep Toronto Police Service one of the world's finest and keep this one of the finest and fairest communities that is known anywhere in North America or the world. Deputy Chief Designate to Mark Saunders, again, congratulations on your new responsibilities. I am still learning the extent to which it is a privilege to serve the people of Toronto in a position of leadership. You've been doing that for some time already, but you now have a chance to do it to an even greater extent as we enter a new era following the distinguished service of Chief Blair. Good luck, and I look forward to working together with you to ensure a strong, safe, and fair Toronto. And now it's time for the man of the hour to speak. May I formally introduce to the people of Toronto the Chief Designate, Mark Saunders.
Just bear with me. Mayor Tory, Chair Mukherjee, board members, I can't begin to tell you how honored and excited I am to have this opportunity to work with you and with the Toronto Police Service in leading us into the next legacy. As the Chief Designate, in the coming weeks, I will lay out a full-scale roadmap on where I would like to achieve the Toronto Police Service. This morning, however, there will be a few things that I'd like to say. First, I want to thank the board for the hard work that they do. I look forward to a strong working relationship and to meaningful discussions that will move us forward in keeping the city the safest and best place to be. I also want to thank the many community supporters who openly offered their support during this process. There were some community members who were fair in saying that they wanted to support me, but they didn't know me. I look forward to getting to know you and having discussions that will earn your support. There are also many supporters within the service who gave me the strength to push through this process. I can't begin to thank you enough. Toronto is truly the greatest city in the world. I love the city for what it stands for. The fact that we have over 140 different cultures and that we live peacefully together is a testament of what great citizens we have. They deserve the best police service in the world, a police service that is bias-free and whose members treat everybody with respect and dignity. You have my promise that I will do everything in my power to provide just that. Community relationships will determine the success or failures of our service. I do not take this lightly. The ability for us to work collaboratively is crucial, and I want you to know that I recognize this point very clearly. Last but not least, I want everyone to know how fortunate I am to have such a strong command working with me. Chief Blair has been a visionary in Canadian policing. Deputy Chiefs Mike Federico and Peter Slowly are two of the most intelligent, well-versed, and dedicated police officers I know. I look forward to working with them as we move forward. Together, we will form a strong and committed team that will ensure that the people of Toronto receive the world-class policing they deserve. And my closer, Tony Vinciano, as well. Thank you, Tony, for all of your support. To my family, I want to thank my family for always being there. Through the good, the bad, and the indifferent. They were there when there was sad moments, and they were there when there was happy moments. But I wouldn't be here today without their support. To say that I'm excited about this opportunity would be an understatement. I'm truly honored to have been chosen as the Chief Designate of the Toronto Police Service. I look forward to serving the citizens of this great city, a city in which I live, a city that I'm proud to serve. Thank you all for being here today.
We will take questions. Again, please identify to whom you're directing your question. Go ahead.
Incoming Chief Saunders, please. Wondering if you can tell us just a little bit about what your take on carding is.
Well, I can tell you right now, one of the things that I want to do is I want to sit across the table with those that have issues concerning carding. At the end of the day, community safety is the most important thing. But we also have to be able to do it by minimizing collateral damage. And it's apparent that there is collateral damage. But I want to sit down, I want to talk, I want to hear exactly what the concerns are. And I want to work with the board and come up with what the best solutions are so that we can do what we need to do to keep the community safe, but also to minimize the collateral damage that it's causing.
Are you open to eliminating it?
I'm open to what's going to be best for the city.
Chief Designate, for answering you, I was just wondering what you see as your number one priority when we talk about if you were introduced as a man who's going to bring about change. What is it we think needs to most be changed?
Well, when I get into my actual formal, once I'm sworn in, I will go into more detail. But I can tell you public trust right now is something that is very important to me. It always has been and always will be.
And has that been undermined by the carding issue?
Well, there are things that some people have misconstrued in a negative way. There are several things. But I really do think that we need to have more sit-downs. We need to have more conversations. We need to have more open dialogues. And I think that that will afford us a better opportunity to decide what is best for the city.
Will you be the chief that probably constrains costs, or will this continue to grow under the leadership?
Well, one of the things we're trying to look at is how can we be cost-effective in policing? We know that it's getting more expensive, and we're looking for alternatives to see what we can do, but we don't want to minimize public safety. That's so important, and we don't want to in any way reduce customer service. So looking at lowering costs, looking at changing the model is something that we will be looking forward to, and working with the board, I hope that we will be successful in doing just that.
What do you think your biggest challenge is in the next year?
That would be hard to say. We go day by day. I really think that we have some tremendous leadership with the police service, and I don't think that there are many issues that we won't be able to tackle head on and be successful.
You acknowledged for a minute there that many members of the community have come up to you and said that they're looking forward to getting to know you more, they just don't know much about you. At this point, is that maybe one of the challenges throughout the next year?
But no, I don't think that's going to be a challenge. I just didn't have the portfolio in which I had the opportunity to be out there and engaging with the public as much as I would like to. But when I did have the opportunity to, it was something that I enjoyed. And I look forward to having the opportunity now to fully engage with the community, all the communities across the city, and finding out what they feel the Toronto Police Service should look like and how we should police the city safely.
There's been some discussion about the force that you inherited, and obviously you thought about the force that you inherited with the issues of carbon, with the issues of what seems to be some bad morale in the force because of other issues. Do you feel a pressure now to get involved with the morale in the force as well as the concerns of the community outside the force surrounding, I guess, in one part, carbon?
I just look at I look forward to the opportunity of working with everybody to fix whatever needs to be fixed. I will be new in the seat. I'm not in the seat yet, and I need to take a step back, and once I'm in the seat, have that evaluation and look and see what direction we need to go as a service and as a team to help serve the city.
Your thoughts on being the first Black chief of Toronto Police?
Yeah, it resonated with me when I told my son, and he said to me, Dad, that's history. And that's something they can never take away from you. And so I didn't realize it was that huge of an impact until my 10-year-old told me that. And if it offers any hope to anybody that is a person of color that feels that this gives them hope, then I'm glad that it does. But I'm glad to be given the opportunity to become chief later on and to serve everybody as best as I can.
Can you tell us just a little bit more about your ideas in terms of new models of policing?
Yeah, I will definitely get into that at a later date. Right now, I'm just excited to be given the opportunity of working with the board and working with the community and working with the command officers and all of the members of the service in keeping our city safe.
What do you think it is about you that stood out that made the board choose you over the other two close competitors?
Now, you really do think I have the ability to answer that question? The Jedi forces.
Brag a little bit. What is it that you brought to the table that the other two guys didn't?
Listen, everybody brought a lot to the table. I have a lot of time for the officers that I work with. The command officers that I work with, I think, are the best in the country. And I say that because I sit across from the table with them day by day, and they are Wile E. Coyote smart. So I don't know what the final deciding factor was, but I can tell you that don't think for any second that the competition was weak in any way, because it's the exact opposite.
Dr. Mukherjee and Mayor Tory, why did you, the both of you have talked about the need for fundamental transformation within the force. Why did you think that Deputy Chief Saunders was the man to deliver this?
Well, it's always risky to single out any single factor. As both of us said, this was a very comprehensive process that involved a number of pieces, including hours of interviews of each candidate, assessments, reference checks, looking at their records, and then a full lengthy conversation among the 7 board members to decide what are the challenges and we are facing and who fits the need of the service and the board at this time. So I'm not going to single out any single factor and say this is the reason why we picked Chief Designate Saunders over the other candidates. As all 3 of us have said, this was a very difficult choice because we had 3 excellent candidates to choose from. And it was a combination of factors that the board assessed very, very carefully, looked at the needs of this organization, needs of this community. This is a complex, diverse, large community, and balancing those factors against one another, looking at the work that each has done, that the board came to the conclusion unanimously that Chief Designate Saunders fits the bill at this time.
I was just going to say that this is an incredibly agonizing process to go through. We had candidates of an excellence that I wish you could have seen all the interviews, because you would have been proud at the fact those people wanted to come and lead the Toronto Police Service. It's a credit to the city and it's a credit to the Toronto Police Service. And that includes in particular the candidates who applied who were already members of this service. But what you look for is that sort of combination of the experience, which all of them had, and not only the expressed desire to bring about change, but also your sense of the ability they're going to have to implement that change. And we made a choice, but I just want to say again, I've been through it many times in business life, in the nonprofit world. When you have to make these choices from among excellent candidates, it's very difficult, and that's why we took the care we did in a process as extensive as ever has been the case to pick a chief of police for this city.
Was it important to the board to have an internal candidate?
Well, we didn't have to worry about that. In fact, we had several, and they were just excellent people. You wish you could have appointed all of them as chief, but life doesn't work that way. And as I said in my remarks earlier, it was also very helpful for us to have national and international candidates who we interviewed, because they gave us a frame of reference for the people who did apply from our own service, and they gave us a sense of the change that's going on around the world in policing. A lot of places face the same challenges that we face. I'll tell you one other thing. The candidates from outside of the city underlined the excellence of the people that were from our own police service as candidates. And so I think that's something that's important to note as well. But that's why I think it was important that we had a global search so that we could see who was out there and then have a chance to talk to some of them.
And did that factor into picking the chief? Was it important to have that internal candidate to eventually be chief?
Well, I think that one of the reasons you do a search at all, as opposed to just saying, well, let's all sit down and write a name on a piece of paper, is so that you can see what people have to say, put them to the test, and also compare them to others, inside and outside the police service. And we did that as thoroughly as I've ever seen done, and I've had a lot of experience doing this before. And the other important thing is to say at the end of that process, we had a unanimous conclusion as to the right person, and that's the man that you see in front of you this morning.
In terms of reining in costs, we've inherited the city budget. Biggest cost is policing. Salary increase just was approved for 4 years. What is this innovative policing translating into cost savings? You have such a small part of the budget to work with beyond salaries. What do you envision these looking like? You
I'll leave the specifics, obviously, to the chief designate, and he has said he will come forward with some of that, his own intentions over time. But I will say that what all of the people who spoke with us, and as I say, we had the chance to get some very expert people, both from within our own service and from outside, even outside the country. They talked, of course, about the most effective deployment of people. They talked about the nature of the work that our police service does. Only a small portion of it actually relates to sort of direct criminal activity. Much of the rest of it is involved with building relationships and with dealing with other kinds of matters that exist in the community, and getting help sometimes from other kinds of professionals to do some of that work, you know, whether it be social workers or mental health advocates or whatever. And so these are the kinds of things that other people told us about, using technology much more effectively than we have. Deputy Chief Saunders has been at the forefront of along with others, Deputy Slowly and others, to actually introduce technology. We've got to go faster and further, as I've said, for the city as a whole. And so you'll hear more about his specific plans, I'm sure, when he's had time to get his feet on the ground.
Chief Designate, can you tell us a little bit about your personal life? You mentioned before talking to your 10-year-old son. A lot of people in the city don't know maybe your number of kids you have and the conversation that you had about becoming the new chief of police.
So I have 4 kids ranging from 26 to 10, and live in the city, live in the West End. And, you know, the conversations were more go, Dad, go than anything else. It's been a long journey. Fun at the end of the day, but it was a long journey. It was hard on family, and I'm sure everyone involved in the competition felt the exact same way.
And when the first woman becomes chief of police, there will be a higher expectation that she will deal with issues that affect women, perhaps in the community. Do you feel an extra responsibility to deal with issues surrounding carding as the first Black chief of police?
Well, I think as the first Black chief, it's important to make sure that I have the skills necessary to qualify for, and I think I do. And you know, being Black is fantastic. It doesn't give me superpowers. So if you're expecting that all of a sudden the earth will open up and miracles will happen, that's not going to happen. What will happen is there'll be lots of open dialogue. There'll be a lot of talking, more so than ever before. And I look forward to those conversations. I want to get the pulse from the city. I want to know what they think is value and what they need from us and what we can offer for them. And that will take a long journey, but it will be a worthwhile journey and a journey that I look forward to participating in.
Chief Designate, we've heard a lot about what the public can expect, but you've had an amazing career in different parts of the force. What can police officers expect from when you start as chief?
Police officers can expect an understanding of what their roles and responsibilities are. They'll have an understanding that there will be change, and that supervisors are going to be there to help them and to assist them and to support them, and that we have to move forward on keeping our city safe and giving everyone that dignity and respect that they need in every encounter that they have. And we are doing a good job right now. Don't get me wrong on that. We are doing a great job as a Toronto Police Service. Is there room for improvement? Yes, there is. Are we going to make that improvement? Yes, we are.
President Chief, the second Jamaican chief of police in Canada, right?
Yes, Jamaica. Yes, correct. Yes.
I guess in Jamaica, we're not in Jamaica.
Okay.
Chief Designate, Anthony Morgan from the African Canadian Legal Clinic. So I would like to ask you if you have any concern about the ability of the Toronto Police Service to manage growing costs in light of increasing talk about pressing litigation and how that might affect the ability of the Toronto Police Service to control its costs moving forward.
Anthony, I'm open to any conversation at all. I'm not going to limit myself. I find that if you limit, then chances are you could be closing doors that could be a tremendous benefit to our city, to the public safety. And so these are the conversations that I look forward to having and getting a firmer understanding and making a determination then.
May I ask your statement on how you would respond to folks who would say that there's already pages of legal analysis and there are already a chorus of voices that speak unified against carding, who feel that there's already been too much talking and there's been too much conversation and not enough action? How would you respond to that?
Well, quite easily, Anthony. This has been going on for 37 years, and to make it a small issue in such a small period of time, we have to look at the whole history of this. We're near the finish line, and I need people to work with us to work with us, work with the board, work with me, so that we can find the right solutions. We are almost there, and everyone's starting to get a little bit antsy over it, but let's work together. Let's find the solutions. Public safety is the most important thing. We have to understand that, and we have to work together on that. And we also have to do it and minimize the collateral damage. We have to. So don't think for a minute that I'm going to be closing doors. That's not going to be the way to get the solutions. It's the hard conversations that you learn the most, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
If I may just suggest, sir, referring to individuals as collateral damage may not go over so well with the community.
Thank you.
One last question. It's just about the community and driftwood. The community and driftwood, last week we spoke with many in the community after that multiple shooting to say that obviously they don't feel safe, right outside their own homes. They want more boots on the ground. Just wondering if you're open to having larger patrols in that area and other high-risk communities for others.
Well, I personally know the unit commander there who is doing an amazing job, and he is one of those commanders that listens to his community. And so I'm sure that he will know what is best for that neighborhood, and I'm sure he will provide the best policing necessary to help ease that frustration.
Thank you very much. That concludes this morning's conference.
Can we have a quick photo?